That's right. We are going to go over 4 lessons churches taught me about music I want to share with you. Slanjava music producers, you're through to Whisky and Synths. My name's Dave, and this is a channel where we blend whiskey drinking with music making. I run a couple of studios in Kent. I've been making music for over 15 years, and I've helped over 500 producers just like you get shows, get released, and I want to delve deep into looking at favourite artists to try and help you learn lessons from them and use it in your own production, have some fun along the way. In this episode, we're going to have a look at the music from CHVRCHES, who are an amazing synth-pop band from Scotland, and I love them. We're actually going to have a look on another episode specifically at their lyrics and Lauren's vocal technique and production, but in this episode, what I want to do is focus on the music. CHVRCHES always want to make me gently weep. They always have such a good blend of emotion, of synths, of beats, and all that. They're one of my favourite bands, but I kind of don't listen to them all the time, and it's probably because they are like quite emotional. It's just like that wee Scottish voice. Absolutely love them. So that's why I've chosen them for this episode today. And we're going to do this in a kind of video podcast style way, just mainly chatting about the tips. It's kind of aimed at intermediate producers like yourself, so you'll be able to kind of get what I'm talking about and apply it into your own music. So hopefully that kind of video works okay with you. And once you've watched the video, if you want to dig deeper, I've put a list of sources in the description where I got all this information from. And I've put a list of free VSTs and plugins and sound packs that might help you get that CHVRCHES sound as well. So let's get into it. So I thought, how best to start this podcast and starting on talking about demoing and creating the music. And there's been some amazing CHVRCHES interviews about this kind of thing. For example, we had Martin say that he loves demoing, making songs almost every day, especially when he's on tour. And he finds the repetition of touring quite exhausting. And he said that it really boosts his confidence and his well-being if he makes tunes every single day. And he's like, I'll give a dump of like 40 tunes to the band and might not even hear back from them. But he said he'd just rather have that selection of tunes to choose from. He said some other things about it as well, which I really like. He mentioned on How Not to Drown, he said he just had this demo loop called Revenge of the Funky Drummer. And he basically looped that, distorted it to hell, and then started building a track out of it just using a piano sound. So it just shows you that demoing is really important and you can build up tracks. And also I think doing a little bit every single day is really good for your well-being and good for your music in the long run. Even if you end up loads of projects you don't use, that's absolutely fine. Also, they had a great tip about when you do get to producing your full track from the demo is always have that demo bounced as a WAV or MP3 as a track in your session. So it might be muted, but you can reference it not for sound quality, but for emotion. What made you like that demo in the first place? What was cool about it? You know, was there a weird glitchy sound in it that's actually, you know, inverted commas, bad sound production, but actually makes it a bit? So you want to preserve that when you're, that emotion, that feeling from your original demo when you are developing it further. And they said that track that I mentioned, the demo was made 2 years in advance of actually making it and getting Robert Smith on it and that. So, you know, having that original demo is really important. I thought it was a cool trick. I never heard that one before, so shout out that one. Right. Lesson number 2 that CHVRCHES taught me all about the synthesizers. So of course, they're synth pop legends. And one of the things they said that was useful is to sort of gradually build their own home studio. So rather than always going to big studios where they said you could spend all day on a snare and then be like, oh, we just wasted £500. In a home studio like this or your own setup, you can afford that time. Now, I don't recommend spending all day on a snare drum. It better be the best snare drum anyone's ever heard if you have, but it does afford you that time to kind of relax and get into it and not worry about the clock ticking and the money spending per minute. Speaking of the synths, they said the biggest one for them that changed everything was the Moog Voyager. Oh, such a classic synth. And this was when they said they kind of progressed from being kind of indie guys in bands playing guitar and bits of keyboard to actually really get involved in synth music as well. But they said on the first record, they only had the Voyager, the Prophet 8 and the Juno, and they were trying to make the most of them by layering and stacking sounds and running them through effects pedals, and that can be quite cool. But they said kind of like, oh, that layering of sounds. We thought if we stacked 2 good sounds, it would make a great sound. But then we realized it doesn't actually always work like that. So you might actually want to try and just use one great sound rather than stacking the same part over lots of different instruments, because that can actually make a muddier mix and sound less impactful sometimes. So that was a good lesson they wanted to share. And what was cool, on their second album, they basically said they came back and we made a bigger sounding album with half the amount of instruments on it as well. So it does show that even with a small little setup, that, we all love our synths, we all love our gadgets, but don't be like, oh my God, I don't have all those things or all those plugins. Use what you've got and you can get amazing results out of it. So just for you guys, I've actually made a little list of some of the synths they've mentioned when I was doing my research. We've got the Moog Voyager, and I've put a link to the Blamsoft Viking synth, which is a free VST of that. They mentioned the Jupiter 8 and the Juno 106, both classic Roland analog polysynths. And I've linked to some free sample packs of that. So rather than being a VST, you get the samples, you drag them into Simpler and Ableton, or whatever sampler you're using. But I know most people watching this are using Ableton. That's what I tend to use, but you can use that to kind of still get cool sounds out of. Remember to tune your samples though, so when you press C on your keyboard, it's playing the note C. Use a tuner plugin. That's one way of doing it. Other ways of doing it as well. Oh, they said they used the Oberheim OBXA, an absolute beast vintage synth. Even Prince used it back in the day. It's so cool. Yes, the one that's been in the news because Behringer has kind of done a reissue of it, but you can get a free VST of it called the OBXD. So I'd recommend that. I've put all the links below. And then the Korg Poly 6. Now this is the one that surprised me because we've got a group where we kind of hang out and we do a challenge every month. And our challenge was to make a Churches style track using some of these tricks. It's called the Music Producers Gym. If you're interested, you can join up for 3 months. Anyway, the Korg Poly 6 is the sample pack I used the most and I absolutely loved it. Whereas Ian in the band, he was saying that, other people don't like it, but, they thought it was like quite a good choice and it kind of has its own sort of weird tweaks to it and stuff. It's maybe not as big a classic as the Mono Poly or other synths, but a great synth to use. So hope you're enjoying the video so far, guys. If you are like most of the producers I know, including myself, you might have a massive stack of songs that you just wish you could get finished, tracks you wish you could get finished. But what if I told you could get it done in 10 easy steps over the next 10 days? If it sounds too good to be true, it's not, because I've got a guide for you, and you don't even have to put in more time than you normally would with your music production. You just follow this guide step by step. There's an artist tip every day that gives you a sort of objective each day, then an action to take. It'll take about 30 minutes work each day, and you'll end up with a finished track. Take from 8-bar loop to a finished track. If you need help finishing your tracks, just click below. I'll send out to you for free as a thank you for watching this video. And I just think anything I can do to help producers like you out there, I want to be doing it. All right, what was the third thing I've learned from Churches? So this one is all about drum machines. So they said that with drum machines, rather than, programming a beat in and then taking like the maybe all the stems out of it or a stereo out of it or whatever, they said they actually like to take little sounds from it, chop it up, and then lay it out in arrangement view in whatever DAW they're using. So they take the sounds and almost put them like that. And they said they liked little edits where it cuts rough or chops off the tail weird. So they said keep in rough edits like that because it can add character to the sound. And they said doing it this way in timeline view or arrangement view, it gives them an idea of what's happening when in a song, so they can build up to certain moments better. Just like a drummer in real life might go do some rolls or fills just before the chorus kicks in. They said that was a thing they like doing. So with your drums, whatever way you like doing it yourself, I think the biggest takeaway from that is, make it follow the flow of your track. Don't be afraid to put in fills, little extra bits of percussion here and there, and keep it kind of choppy and raw if you want that kind of electro-pop Churches sound. A second tip they gave on using drums as well was weird beats. So they said as long as you've got something consistent, like a consistent hi-hat or shaker, or maybe it's just a consistent clap on the offbeat or a kick on the downbeat, then you can get away with a lot weirder percussion and tuned hi-hats or weird toms and that. So they said keep one element consistent and you can get away with making your beats that bit more experimental. And I love that as well, because it's quite fun playing around with drums and drum sounds. Rather than just doing a basic beat like you've heard a million times before, it's quite good to do that. Now, tip 4 from CHVRCHES, lessons I've learned, and this was on finishing. And they said they took on their last album the full mixing in-house. They want to mix everything. They're like, oh, our music, we know it best. We want to do it ourselves, so we're going to mix it ourselves. And they said it was a scary decision because they didn't, grow up as mix engineers, but as they went along, they thought, this is the thing we want to do. And I absolutely think it's a cool decision. Most of us, if you're watching this, chances are you're a music producer working at home. You're probably mixing stuff at home. So that's quite inspirational to hear. Even big bands are doing it now as well. So yeah, keep at it. And I like that. They also said that it was good to draw a line under something, get the artwork done, get it mixed, get it mastered to the best you can, then just leave it. Because if you want to make something new or you want to keep endlessly tweaking, you may as well just make something new rather than endlessly tweaking the same thing. And in all the interviews I read and listened to, they quite often talked about albums and songs almost capturing a moment, a feeling, and that's, you can hear that in their music. And if they endlessly tweaked forever and ever, then it's, how you're going to erode that initial emotion in it as well. So I think it's really important to draw a line under something, try and get it finished as best you can, and move on, because we're always going to make more music for our lives. Don't worry that that's your one good idea ever. I've got to make it perfect. You got loads ahead of you. So everyone, I hope you've liked this podcast style video. Whisky and Synths it is, all about CHVRCHES. Like I said, I've got another one of them coming as well. It's all to do with Lauren's vocals and vocal production, because that side of things excites me as well. If you've liked this, leave a comment. Just any tips you know about CHVRCHES or music production tips you want to share. Let's create a cool positive vibes in the comment section down below. And remember, if you click below, I've got that free gift for you. If you're struggling to finish your tracks, and I've been there, I've got a 10-step, 10-day guide. Finish that damn track, it's called. And literally, it's just a guide every evening you can do this. 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. So probably not more than you're putting into your music production anyway. This just helps you use that time more productively. And you can just follow this recipe and you'll be finishing more and more tracks. Because I know a part of music production is fun. It's just chilling, making bleeps, making sounds. But I know a big thing in a lot of our hearts is to get some of our best ideas finishing out there. So that's what I want to help with. I want to help you with that and get over those obstacles you're facing. You can click below for that. And if you want, get in touch, because I do offer 4 free one-to-one coaching calls every month as well, where you can chat to me about Ableton, about your tracks, about your music making over like a Zoom call. It usually lasts about 30 minutes, and I offer them out as well, because my job on this planet is to help people with their music production, just like you. So thanks for watching. This has been Whisky and Synths. My name's been Dave, and I really hope you enjoyed this video podcast. Whisky and Synths.